welcome you to Cameron Indoor Stadium in Durham tonight. ACC Network basketball, the third and final game of our triple header. We settle in for number 2 Duke and their only meeting of the regular season against the Florida State Seminoles. And a quick check of the updated standings. And of course, Stanford just beat SMU a moment ago. You see the top 9 in the ACC of the 12. And reason being, those top 9 are going to get either a single bye or a double bye in the ACC tournament in Charlotte, which starts, well, really in about 10 days. Great to be with Terrence Oglesby, West Durham. Welcome to the Crow's Nest tonight for the Blue Devils and Seminoles. Couple of lineup changes tonight. Tyrese Proctor is out of the lineup for Duke. Malik Ewan is out of the lineup tonight for Florida State. And for the Blue Devils, that means Showtime Slim, the freshman Isaiah Evans.
Hey, the pride of North Mecklenburg High School. He gets to get a start. First career start after going 5 for 6 in the first half against Miami. My man is playing with so much confidence right now, Wes. At 6'6" and long arms, he can see over the defense, knock down shots. And you talk about confidence, he hasn't seen a shot that he doesn't like. He's firing them up. And now, after a season of working on his defense, Coach Shire has all kinds of confidence in this young man. A stupendous jump shooter from beyond the arc, looking to get high.
All right, we're going to keep an eye on Evans. 4 true freshmen, by the way, in the lineup tonight for Shire's Blue Devils. You see Evans, who gets his first career start, coming off 3 straight double-figure efforts. Now, Florida State, without Ewan in the middle, the best shooter from the floor in the ACC, a little more on the shoulders of Jameer Watkins.
Well, he's going to have to be aggressive, Wes. Why? Because he's the only scorer that's really getting above 13, 14 points a game. If Florida State plays at the fastest pace in the ACC, and as a result, that's where Watkins gets most of his offense early in the clock. Look for Florida State to try to push the pace and put some offensive pressure on this big Blue Devils roster.
Well, so John Shire huddles up now with, you see Tyrese Proctor in street clothes here tonight with Isaiah Evans, Common Malawach, Con Knueppel, and Cooper Flagg, the 4 freshmen, to go with the grad transfer, Sion James. And 79 wins in his first 100 games for John Shire, who has done just a terrific job here in year 3. The Blue Devils set to capture the top seed in the ACC tournament, which starts a week from Tuesday at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte. Claire Aubrey with Mark Schnurr and Bill Covington Jr. Malawach and Alir Malouk get us started, and the Blue Devils in white control with James. And Florida State goes man-to-man.
You'll see a lot of Florida State playing on top of the passing lanes, trying to get out, create steals so they can get out in transition. When they have to play in the half court, Wes, sometimes they struggle, and who hasn't been struggling? Isaiah Evans just rims out.
Yep, spins one out. Jackson the rebound. Daquan Davis, the freshman from Baltimore, to Chandler Jackson with a floater. And Flagg, his first rebound of the night. James ahead from Malawach. Catch, layup, good. 2-0 Duke.
The native of South Sudan, played in the Olympics this summer. Kamal Malawach, one of the best things he does, Wes, he runs the floor like somebody's chasing him. Unbelievable pace and good athleticism at a full 7'2". Really impressive.
Jackson, the junior from Memphis, he's a 3-year junior. He's the oldest player really for Leonard Hamilton in terms of experience with the program. Davis, this is Taylor Bowen. 4 to shoot. Daquan Davis, the runner. Tried to dump it to Malouk. Florida State to turnover.
And whenever you play Duke, this isn't traditional Duke defense. What I saw when I was playing, Wes, back in the early 2000s, when they would get out and pressure the passing lanes, much more of a not in the passing lanes, but much more in the gaps this season because they have that outstanding size. Even Sion James with the ball, standing about 6'5", 225 pounds, running the 1. Just makes their lineup different.
Knueppel the spin. Oh my goodness, got Malouk in the air in the end one for Con Knueppel.
It pays to be patient. Con Knueppel, everybody knows, terrific 3-point shooter, but good patience. Alir Malouk, 7 feet. Stay on the ground, young fella. You have good defensive position. Maintain your discipline. Doesn't matter. Con Knueppel, a born scorer.
Duke is the second best free throw shooting team, Terrence, in ACC play at 81%. Knueppel is 90 at the line. 64 of 71, and the free throw is good. He's coming off 20 on Tuesday night in Miami. Oh, what a move by Watkins all the way to the basket. Malowacz got a piece of it. Here's Flagg ahead for Knipple, spotting up. That got partially blocked. Deflected by Davis. Here's Watkins at the other end for the dunk, and Florida State on the board.
This is exactly how Leonard Hamilton likes his team to play. Make this game a bit of a mess, and you'll have success, but only if you stop Cooper Flagg. Can't have that happen.
2 minutes in, and Duke's got a 5-point lead here at Cameron. Blue Devils are 8-0 at home, 15-0 this season, just 8-0 in conference play. Monday night, they'll have a chance to go a perfect 10-0 and 17-0 if they win here tonight when Wake Forest visits. That ball got knocked out of bounds.
Defensively, Florida State, if you get back, you can find some opportunities. Nice look ahead, and Jameer Watkins, he knows what to do. But Cooper Flagg, here's the deal. We talked to Jon Scheyer today. This is one of those games, because of the way Florida State plays, you have to fight fire with fire. If they're going to overplay the passing lanes, you're just going to have to take the bull by the horns and attack the rim. Exhibit A, Cooper Flagg, nice play to start this game.
Here's Watkins with 5 to shoot, and he stepped out of bounds over in front of Mark Schnur as he was trying to size up Sion James. Second Florida State turnover. Now Bol Bowen in the backcourt to at least with some token pressure on the Flagg inbounds pass. And here's James against Davis. Flagg against Watkins. Short turnaround, bounces away. Malowacz tried to get position. Bol Bowen, a nice job with the box out. And Malowacz commits the foul. It'll be his first. It's the first on Duke with a couple minutes and change gone.
Kamon Malowacz is tall on a floor full of tall people. He is full 7'2". Alir Malouk, he's listed at 7 feet. And Malowacz, I'm not going to say dwarfs him, but makes him look small.
Here is Malouk working into the lane. Fall away on Malowacz, got bothered.
Coach Hamilton talked to us a little bit about, man, it's tough to start 2 freshmen. That's not how I've usually done things. But at the same time, Isaiah Evans just doesn't even think about it.
Nope. Catch and release, bounds away. 3 minutes in, 5-point lead. It stays for Duke. Noles are 1 for their first 5, make it 2 of their first 6, and Watkins has got 2 dunks.
How about that? Splitting the ball screen, getting to the cup. Jameer Watkins showing up ready to play. But you notice when they're getting their offense, it's playing quick. Maybe not even a pass. They're being aggressive early. Heads up.
Flagg the lob, and Malowacz answers. He's got 4 and dunks at either end of the floor here early.
It's an awesome pass by Knipple. Bounce pass, get it into the seam, throw that sucker up. Malowacz knows how to handle those.
Bol Bowen misses the 3. Evans drawing his first career start tonight. Here is Flagg trying to get to the glass.
Oh my gosh.
And Malowacz the rebound. And Jon Scheyer wanted to foul. Cooper Flagg wanted to foul. A held ball is going to go to Florida State. We get a timeout at Cameron. Action fast and furious here early, T.O.
Hey, 2 tall teams attacking the cup. Jameer Watkins, why not? Welcome to Cameron on the other side. Terrific seam pass, throw it up. Malowacz, throw it down.
For Duke, a 5-point lead. We're 4 minutes in. Cooper Flagg a moment ago around the basket. Not from the meek.
Man, in the face.
Yeah. Jon Scheyer was a little
visibly upset.
Bill Covington saying, hey, I thought he got hit in the head.
I think it had more to do with Covington was looking at the action on his side of the floor. Yeah, they're going to go back and take a look at it. See, obviously fouls above the head or neck. That's automatically going to be reviewed. And Wes, as you know, I love reviews.
It's been noted. Yeah, it's been noted.
Hey, here's a cool thing, though, Wes, and this is a great job coming up with this graphic by the guys in the truck. But first half Cooper Flagg, second half Cooper Flagg. And we talked to Jon Scheyer about it.
Right.
One of the best things about Cooper Flagg is his maturity level. He understands that the guys he plays with needs the ball to have energy. So you look at Kon Knipple, you look at Isaiah Evans, those guys need to touch leather a little bit in order to get a rhythm within the game. Cooper, not necessarily the case. However, here in this game today, because of the way Florida State plays, you're going to see him be a little bit more aggressive in the first half because the defense likes to extend out. And then whenever they overcommit, he's going to be able to find some of these lobs and some of these plays around the rim.
I use the word unselfish.
Yeah.
You use the word feel.
Yeah, unbelievable feel, because you look at the guys on the floor like Isaiah Evans. Is he going to create a ton at this level right now in his career? Probably not. He needs to move, and the ball needs to work for him. Kon Knueppel, he can make some things happen, sure, but Cooper Flagg, he can do anything at any time, but he understands these other four guys, excuse me, those guys need to touch the ball to gain confidence throughout the course of the game.
All right, an offensive foul on Malir Malouk, by the way, for the pick. So he'll pick up his second with 15:42 to play, and that means that Christian Nitu has checked into the lineup now for Florida State. You see Malouk go to the bench for the Seminoles, and Nitu, the 6'11 freshman from Whitby in Southern Ontario, is into the lineup now, and so is Patrick Gungba, by the way, for Duke, along with Caleb Foster. And Knueppel for three, and he got it out of the corner. Half dozen now for Knueppel, and the Duke lead quickly to 8 here.
I love that play design. Jon Scheyer setting the down screen, understanding Florida State's going to try to jump it. Excellent read by Knueppel, getting out away, and terrific pass and shot.
So Gungba, Flagg, Knueppel with James and Caleb Foster, who knocked the ball out of bounds. It'll stay with Florida State here. And we mentioned that Nitu has come in the lineup, a young man who's only playing about 5 minutes a game against conference opponents. Davis in the corner against Foster, who's been playing well as of late off the Blue Devil bench. Sophomore from Harrisburg, North Carolina.
Look at the activity off the ball. Cooper Flagg in the corner, stunning. Same with Sion James. Now you got to find the guy.
Jackson, the pull-up jumper. Tapped around. Bowen couldn't get it to fall. Here's Flagg. Ahead for James. Sion trying to get it to Cooper. Does. Strong against Nitu. Second field goal for the freshman.
Wes, you've had a bunch of games with Cooper Flagg. This is my first time doing a Duke game this season. Have you seen him in a rush? Because on film, he doesn't rush, ever. He has never lost his composure, feels out of place. It's really remarkable to see for a player so young.
Here's Jackson in the corner, lead 10 for the Blue Devils. Watkins on a re-rack. Took a bump from Gungba, and that'll be a foul on Patrick Gungba. 6'11 freshman from Northern Virginia, his first and the second on the Blue Devils, T.O.
I think that the word composure is perfect. I mean, slides over, comes, protects the ball with his body. And when you have guys flying at you all the time, and you have a senior guard in Sion James that can get you the rock.
Be careful now. He's on the way to rewriting some things, too. How about this? First ACC player, 500 points, 100 assists, 30 blocks in the regular season in the last 25 years.
Seems good.
yeah, not bad. Pull up at 16 for Watkins. Oh, and a nice follow by Nitu, who got to the rim. Christian Nitu, who played 5 minutes, had 2 points against Carolina last Monday night in Tallahassee.
I like Christian Nitu. Plays with an edge. Good size at 6'11", has some skill, left-handed. He's got a chance.
Foster out front, standing three. And it bounds away. Gungba, and last touch by the Noles. So there's Claire Arbery, and we'll get another look at Christian Nitu on the follow here.
Saw him play for the first time for UPlay Canada. Just his activity level is what stands out, especially when he comes in and plays for Coach Leonard Hamilton. His activity's there. Like I said, plays with an edge. Got to contest the shot a little better than that.
Boy, look at Gungba chase the offensive rebound down, and here's Flagg on the attack. Through traffic, put it up on the glass, and finally pulled away by Nitu. He's now playing, by the way, with Jerry Dang, number 7 for the Noles. He's a transfer from Hampton University. Who's coming off a season-high 16 points against Carolina. Here's Watkins to work, though. Skips it to Dang. Long three out of the corner, rattles in for Jerry Dang.
Hey, I'm a big fan of Jerry Dang. Good size, shoots a really nice ball. Transferred from Hampton. He's got that in his game.
How about Foster on the drive? Couldn't finish it. Dang pulls away the rebound. 5-point lead for Duke. Here are the Noles with Jackson. Now for Nitu. They've also plugged Justin Thomas into the lineup. He wears 25. And he'll take the ball in the corner and then flip it right back to Jackson. 10 to shoot. Watkins at distance. And going to get a foul called here. And it's going to be on Caleb Foster, his first, and the third on the Blue Devils.
They say pass makes the shot. Jamir Watkins a little bit high on the swing. Terrific hands. Jerry Dang grabs it with one, up and over. He's got a nice looking stroke. He doesn't start for the Seminoles team, but he very well could.
We were noting today during their walkthrough that Jerry Dang and Christian Nitu both have, for big guys, have excellent shots.
Absolutely. Alir Malouk as well.
Yep.
I mean, you talk about three guys with a lot of potential. Problem is, as Leonard Hamilton alluded to it when he talked to us today, like just young players. So you're still teaching habits in February to where if you had an older team like he's accustomed to, you're on to different things at this point in the year.
Shot clock at 4. Here's Watkins. Long three, front rim miss, and James clears. Ahead for Knipple. Foster. Foul line area, Gungba. Gillis has checked in for the Blue Devils. Wears 18. Knipple with 15 to shoot. Finds his way into traffic. And tapped around by Gillis. Finally, Thomas had it, lost it. Nitu cleans it up.
This is a small thing, but number 14 for Duke, Sion James, watch his activity off the ball. He's always in the gaps. He's always communicating. And as soon as I say it, he misses a rotation. How about that, Lester?
A.J. Swinton missed a layup. Gungba the rebound. Duke's missed their last 5 now from the floor. And still holding to the 5-point lead. Oh, Foster, a little shot fake. Caleb challenges, had it blocked. And away comes Watkins. 2 on 3. Watkins against James. And a foul on Sion James. That'll get us to a timeout. First on James, 4th on Duke. Trailing 10 a moment to go. Knowles to 5 on the deficit. Free throws when we come back. Well, as he gets ready to go into his last week of the regular season as the head coach at Florida State, Leonard Hamilton gets a trip back to his home state. Of course, he's a native of Gastonia. And before the game, a very nice moment here at Cameron. And great to see Mike Krzyzewski and his wife Nikki here tonight on the baseline. And Coach K had this: in so many ways, my dear friend Leonard Hamilton's a pioneer in our profession. His tangible accomplishments are terrific. His impact on countless players along the way will be the greatest testament to his success. College basketball will miss him. We had a nice visit today.
Yes.
A lot of topics, a lot of ground covered, but there's no getting around, T.O. This is another guy who did yeoman's work, 23 years of it in Tallahassee.
Yep.
And leaves Florida State in a far better place than when he found it.
No question. No question. And even going back to my days when I played, like, he had a certain type of player. I mean, those guys played hard. They were up in the passing lanes. He liked them. He liked these jumbo wings.
Yeah.
And the thing is, too, Wes, I would run into him. I usually run into him at the airport going to the Final Four every year. I'm like, Coach, this is 2 or 3 years ago now. We're on our way down to San Antonio. And he was like, I was like, are you going on vacation at all? Because I don't take vacations. I was like, Coach, come on, you've done a really nice job, Florida State. You can take a vacation. He's like,
sure.
No, it's always the next thing. And then today, walking into shoot around, you and I talked to Coach Hamilton. Coach, you gonna take a vacation now? No, I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
So no vacations for Leonard Hamilton, even after his coaching.
7-0 run. Watkins hits the free throws. What was once a 10-point lead, now down to 3 for the Blue Devils. He did talk about some of the outside interests beyond basketball that he does have and things like that he will tend to a little more closely than he's had in his time as a coach. And there's a foul, and that's going to end up being on Boston Holt, I believe, and flag hit the deck. Now, we couldn't quite see from our perch in the crow's nest what happened here, but Cooper's still down.
Looks like he got poked in the eye, at least from our vantage point. We're going to take a look here on the baseline. As you see.
Bo Bowen. And so Cooper Flag is still down. And the foul is on Jerry Dang. It'll be his first. It's the 3rd on Florida State.
Leonard less than thrilled. Cooper Flag, though, now on his feet. A little scratch there below the nose. Oh, it's from earlier. Excuse me.
So Jose Fonseca, and now his 20th year as the Blue Devil basketball trainer, out to tend to the freshman.
This is earlier in the game. Wes takes one across the face, and then here, poked in the eye. Nothing intentional here, but somebody get Cooper a helmet.
So
I say this seeing him walk off the floor, and it looks like he's going to be okay. So
yeah,
at the Cooper's expense, looks like he's fine.
so Flag and Jose Fonseca will talk through this, and Jay Lucas off Jon Scheyer's staff down to check in, and there's his folks who have his twin brother Ace, who by the way has captured a state title at Greensboro Day School for the legendary Freddie Johnson this year.
He's won 3 state championships. Won one in Maine.
Right.
I think last year at Montverde, and then
At the Greensboro Day School.
Unbelievable.
With Fred Johnson.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's a
Freddie Johnson's the winningest high school coach in the state of North Carolina, by the way. He's done a phenomenal job.
a lot of good players out of that school.
Yeah, one of his star pupils led Virginia Tech to a win today. Jaden Young had 26. He played at Greensboro Day for Freddie. So Flag to the bench. The foul on Dang. Gillis, Evans, Malawach, James. And a 3 out of the corner by Evans is no good. Common cleans it up. Couldn't get the roll. Got it again. Puts it to the deck. Oh, Gillis tees up a 3. It bounds away. Look at Malawach fight for it. They go to the deck. Here's Kneppel sitting on the basketball. Saves it to Gillis. And Evans thought about it. And Duke's got to calm it down a little bit here maybe. 11 to shoot, and Gillis into traffic with the right hand. He'll draw the foul. That's Boston Holtz first.
How about the ball changing sides of the floor twice after an offensive rebound? Gets over to Mason Gillis. Nice drive. Gets a little bit of leverage. I think the biggest thing that sticks out about this Duke team this season, Wes, is their unselfishness as a unit. And when your best player is your most unselfish player, there's a trickle-down effect to the rest of them. And I'm a big fan of this young man right here. Mason Gillis, terrific role player for Matt Painter at Purdue last year. Shot 40% from 3. And I talked to him before the game, and Matt Painter's much different in how he coaches his team than what Jon Scheyer is. And Paint likes to set up his offense. He calls every single action, every single spot on the floor, where Scheyer told us he likes this, what's the right word? Mixed results, whatever you can do, the spontaneity, because he's got the talent. And that's been an adjustment for Mason. But you look at him now, like he's going to potentially play with 2 straight National Player of the Year.
Absolutely.
And 2 that do it in 2 different ways.
Bol Bowen a 3.
He can do that.
Yep. 25th 3 of the year for the 6'10 sophomore from Vermont, Taylor Bol Bowen. And it's a 2-point game with 10.5 to go in the opening frame. Duke, by the way, has missed their last 9 shots from the floor. Gillis tries to snap the streak and does. 5 in a row for Mason Gillis.
That's a terrific play by Con Kneppel, coming off a ball screen and reading that bottom guy. Finds the open shooter in the corner.
Justin Thomas, 6th-year transfer from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to Bol Bowen, attacking on the dribble. Skip out, Dang a 3 right wing. And Malawach had a hand on it. James finally controls it for Kneppel. Kahn all the way to the basket, and a foul. Kneppel now with 8 and a chance to make it 9 if he can hit the free throw.
2 big-time plays by Con Kneppel, coming off the ball screen, reading that bottom guy. Late switch out, Mason Gillis. Easy shot, and then in transition, the Con Kneppel show. Amongst the trees, you got to get that ball high off the glass. Not an easy shot, Wes.
Nope. And here is Kneppel at the line. He is the #1 3-point shooter in ACC play at 42%. He's already knocked down one of those tonight. And here he goes with another free throw. So he's got 9 in the first half, and the Duke lead is quickly gone back to 8 on the efforts of Gillis and Kneppel. A.J. Swinton, Justin Thomas on the floor with Bol Bowen. Boston Holt and Jerry Dang. And the lob for Dang. And a foul. Claire Aubrey is going to ticket Sion James here for his second and the 5th on the Blue Devils in this first half. And a moment ago, Cooper Flagg headed to the Blue Devil locker room for some extra attention.
That's good. Not good. Hopefully Cooper's okay.
Yep. So baseline for Dang. You see James scoreless, now 2 fouls with 9:29 to go. First Blue Devil with 2. Alir Malouk has 2 for Florida State. He's been on the bench since about the game's first 5 minutes. Here's Holt. Wraps it for Thomas. Pull up 3. And Evans had it, couldn't control it. It'll stay with Florida State. Here comes Darren Harris into the lineup for the Blue Devils. Quick reminder to you that a week from Tuesday, the 72nd annual ACC Men's Basketball Tournament presented by T. Rowe Price starts at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte. We've got all 3 first-round games for you here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Pre-game coverage, tips from the floor of the Spectrum Center with nothing but net at 1:30 Eastern Time. 4th turnover on Florida State. And with that, Daquan Davis is back, and so is Jameer Watkins for the Seminoles here. Duke has yet to have a turnover tonight. Florida State's got 4.
I think Florida State's length is bothering Duke a little bit. They're not having to overhelp. The 2 times they have overhelped, they've ended up with wide open jump shots for Duke.
Yep.
But around the rim.
And a foul on Davis will be his first. Freshman from Baltimore. 6th on Florida State.
Now Mason Gillis, he needs to make sure he understands, like, he can't run the baseline right now.
Spot throw in. And here comes Nitu to replace Jerry Dang.
The Florida State way, substitute in length for more length. You know, Duke's the tallest team in the country. Florida State's the 4th tallest team in the country. So, and not only that, really athletic are the Seminoles. They do a nice job, but they switch everything, and they put so much pressure on you because they don't have to overhelp.
Boy, Knipple went all the way to the rack, couldn't finish. And here is Davis, right back the other way, tried to dump it back to Nitu. It ultimately got there. Watkins, jab step on Malawach. Oh, nice pass baseline. What a hand in the lane for Darren Harris. T.O.
Hey, if you're a freshman and you're not playing that many minutes, you better do it on the defensive end. Jon Scheyer told us he was going to get that opportunity, and I'm not sure this was off of Harris. It looked very much like it was off to Quan Davis. Tough call.
Yeah. Stays baseline with Florida State, trailing 8. And Bill Covington Jr. a foul. And it's on Isaiah Evans. It'll be his first. That's 6 on the Blue Devils. Florida State's got 6 as well, with 8:49 to go in this frame. No Tyrese Proctor, no Malik Brown for Duke, no Malik Ewan for Florida State tonight. Too strong off the hand of Watkins.
A little bit of a force. I like the fact we get to see Con Knipple handle the ball at the 1.
Yeah. Here's Gillis. Quick look for Evans. Showtime Slim has not found the groove just yet.
Great cut.
Harris the catch and the score and 1. Darren Harris, just his 10th field goal of the year. And the foul is on Nitu. It's his first and the 7th on the Seminoles.
Nice cut away from the ball. Cooper Flagg makes his way back. Sees him with one eye, but that's all you need. Darren Harris is a nice player, and I think sometimes, you know, it gets lost in the fact that Con Knipple's here and Kaman Malawach. Like, Darren Harris has struggled to crack the rotation, but what a rotation it is. This is a guy who scored a lot of points in high school throughout his high school career and has just struggled to crack the rotation. So what do? You get the opportunity, you play defense.
Too strong off the hand of Evans. Duke's back to their largest lead of the game, 10. And Gungba stuck a hand in the pass lane. Here's Knipple. with Harris. Right corner, Evans, 3-ball. Nope. How about Harris from the front wing? Nope. How about a third crack with Knipple? Maybe something a little closer? Nope. Back for Evans, 3. Yes, sir.
I'm a big believer in second chances, but third, fourth, and fifth, why not? Isaiah Evans has unleashed the crazy.
They hold their breath when number 3 puts it in the air. Finally, he rewards them at Cameron.
Wes, when you're not shooting it all that great, attack the offensive glass. That's something Duke does really well. And take a look right here.
Isaiah Evans.
And Isaiah Evans down on the right block. Finds the offensive rebound, gets to the corner, hands ready, shot ready, forget about it. 1 of 6, that was his first one, finally able to get a rhythm.
All right, a couple of notes behind it. Duke's on a 13-3 run. They've assisted on 8 of 10 made field goals in this first half. So to your point, they're only shooting 35.5%, 3 of 13 from 3. But it's a details game again for Jon Scheyer tonight.
It absolutely is. But you notice too, as long as they get into the paint, when Florida State does commit or overcommit, they've been able to find some of these shots. It's just a matter when they stay on their man, that's when you have to finish. And we've started to see a little bit more of that with Con Knipple, especially in transition.
They've got 9 points off 5 Florida State turnovers as well. Here's Davis. That got blocked by Gungba. And here's Gillis. Knipple. Back for Gillis, a 3 in the run. Yes! 8 for Mason Gillis.
And here comes the run. You get out in transition, Mason Gillis, that's where he finds his best looks. Knocked down.
Chandler Jackson tries to sneak baseline, pushes it up and in. Junior from Memphis averages less than 6 against the conference on the board for the first time. 14-point lead. Blue Devils have been on a 11-0 run prior to the Jackson basket.
This is not a game, Wes, where you set up a lot of offense. This is a game where you just figure it out against pressure and you just try to get downhill.
Evans trying to see if he can angle Watkins. Oh, nice pass. Gungba the catch and layup.
Really nice pass and even better patience by Isaiah Evans, who looks like he's been a little sped up. I think him getting his first career start, the butterflies got to him a little bit, but that 3 seemed to have calmed him down.
Of course, he started for Tyrese Proctor tonight. Proctor had started 37 consecutive games. Watkins, an air ball.
Close the door.
Wow.
A little too deep. I think, Florida State has found some offensive rhythm when the ball's popped and then they've attacked. And I like his aggressiveness, but Isaiah Evans gets to the middle of the floor and Gungba,
There's Evans, a layup.
When it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours with Duke. They get ahead of steam. And keep in mind, this is with Cooper Flagg on the bench.
Yep. Need to. Working against Gungba. Watkins. Quickly for Davis. 10 to shoot. Fall away over Darren Harris is good for Daquan Davis's first basket.
Sometimes good offense beats good defense, and that was Exhibit A. Daquan Davis, the freshman, really thrives on his competitiveness. Sometimes it gets the best of him, but somebody better get Mason Gillis.
Gillis, a long rebound, and Bo Bowen had it knocked away. And it will belong to the Seminoles. Back to Davis here.
Terrific skip pass, and the one more giving Davis an angle. If you're Jon Scheyer, you live with that defense. You cut him off, you contest. Darren Harris, I'm okay with that.
Davis played at Overtime Elite in Atlanta a year ago. Prior to that, a year at St. Francis in Baltimore, a year at St. John's in D.C. Here's Evans after the Florida State turnover, and going to be a foul. It's going to be on
Davis.
They're going to call it on Davis.
They're going to take a look at it for a clear. I don't know if the correct terminology is clear path or not. But.
Yeah. So
we're going to take a look. He loses his footing. Davis gets downhill, loses it, grabs a hold of Isaiah Evans. Can't do that.
So Davis the foul. his second. It's the 8th on Florida State. And Bill Covington and Claire Aubrey are at the monitor.
And that's tough because, man, Flagg's leaving again.
Don't forget the Ally. Oh, hold on a second. Get a little interpretation.
The previous play was reviewed. We have a flagrant 1 foul. 2 shots. Point of interruption.
All right.
Two shots, point of interruption. The ball end up on the side after 2 free throws. A flagrant 1 is called. Not a basketball play, and I think that's a good call, Wes.
Yep, I'm with you on that. So Isaiah Evans is going to get a couple of free throws, and then Duke will put the ball in play in the backcourt. And before we get to the free throws, the Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament starts Wednesday afternoon in Greensboro. All first and second round games and 2 of the quarterfinal matchups will be for you right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. First round coverage starts at 12:30 Eastern on Wednesday. The Nothing But Net crew will be live at the Coliseum in Greensboro with the Ally Women's Tournament.
I'd watch just for Kelly Gramlich.
Well, Tigers, you know, tend to stay in the same pack. Free throw by Evans is good. It does bring up a question, by the way, as Evans knocks down shooters. It's mentioning you and John Shire see each other today, and it's like a shooting conversation breaks out
right away.
So Kelly Gramlich, Terrence Oglesby.
Ridiculous question. And I love Kelly. This isn't the business she wants.
Not bringing the smoke for Kelly.
That's not what she wants.
No, not what she wants. The contest for shooting. Okay.
Hey, speaking of shooters, though.
Yeah.
Isaiah Evans, 1 of 6 from 3. What's the last thing you need to do to a shooter to get his confidence going? Put that man on the free throw line.
Yeah.
So don't be shocked if you see him end up with a jump shot at some point here in this possession. But Jamir Watkins is not going to let anything happen.
Yeah. Isaiah Evans has got a 6-point half. Hit 1 of 2 at the line. And here's a 3 ball. And knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Duke. I think Thomas, the 6'7", 6th-year transfer from Baton Rouge, pushed it last.
I think the lineup size on the floor is the most jarring. Shortest player on the floor is Chandler Jackson right now at 6'5". I mean, this is a grown man game in terms of size, athleticism.
And Marchner, I think, juggled the ball before Knipple could officially put it in play. Here is Evans now as we work towards 5 minutes to play, and the Blue Devil lead is 17. Gungba had it poked away. Evans scoops it up right back to the basket, and that got knocked around. They play on with Watkins.
I'm a big fan of Isaiah Evans. That's a spot where you can see where his physical maturity is really going to come into play.
Jerry Dang, a smooth stroke for another 3. 6 for Dang, and a 30-second timeout for John Shire as the Blue Devil lead is cut to 13. Dang's knocked down 2 triples here in this first half for the Seminoles. The last one cleanly stroked from the right wing. Back to Cameron in a moment. So here in Durham, the side note, Cooper Flagg took a inadvertent finger to the eye. And you see with 11:27 to go in this first half, he's now coming back from the locker room. Jose Fonseca, I think, was taking his mom back to that locker room area underneath the stands here at Cameron Indoor Stadium.
There's one thing I know, Wes, it's that Mama makes everything better. Thank goodness he didn't need Mama, though.
Yeah.
Glad to see Cooper back on the bench.
So back to the bench area. 14-point game with 4.5 to play. Knipple.
What, Jamir Watkins is a menace defensively.
Yep.
He has bothered everything
Gillis
that Duke has done.
5 to shoot, and a foul will be called in traffic.
I mean, when Jamir Watkins is on the point of attack defensively, he is keeping Duke on one side of the floor by himself. And whenever he's doing that, they're having a hard time getting the ball past half court and struggling to start that sequence of actions. And what I mean by that is when Duke breaks down the defense or they call an offensive set, that ball changes sides of the floor 2 and 3 times sometimes in order to find open looks or driving lanes.
Gillis to shoot 2, first away. And it rattles out. Don't forget, Nothing But Net crew will be in Greensboro for the Ally Women's Tournament Wednesday through Sunday right here on ACC Network. You get full coverage, pregame, halftime, postgame shows throughout the tournament, previews, highlights, analysis, and game breakdowns as well. All of that starts Wednesday at 12:30 Eastern Time from Greensboro at the Ally ACC Women's Tournament. Should be a terrific event, by the way. Gillis got the back end of the free throw. He's 3 for 4, has 9 in this half. He's averaged 4.5 points in the last couple of ball games. He's had 3 double-figure games against the ACC, including 12 against Miami the other night. Here's the drive, and Jackson, wow, the answer.
Circus shot.
4 for Chandler Jackson. And I said Gillis had 12. It was against Miami earlier in the year, not the other night in the win at Coral Gables. Here's
Look at Watkins. I mean, his defensive ability has stood out, but what a play!
Number 3 back to work for you, T.O.
I love it. Drive baseline with the intention of setting a screen on the top of the key. Big time shot. Even better at getting his feet set.
Long 3 out front for Watkins. Back rim miss. Evans clears it. James. He's tough. Oh my goodness. First basket for Sion James, and he just out-muscled Florida State to the rack.
If you start leaning against him, he is so strong physically, you just bounce off.
18-point lead again for the Blue Devils.
And again, the activity. I mean, unbelievable.
Timeout on the floor, just ahead of 3 minutes to go in this first half. We are being told we will be given some sort of update on Cooper Flagg. As you can see, he's at the Duke bench, Taylor, with the towel around the neck, and at least on the surface looks okay. We'll find out more at the intermission here. Flagg has been out since the 11:27 mark. Duke led 14-11 when he left the game. They're on a 27-12 run since to take this 18-point lead on Florida State. And the Blue Devils are playing a pretty clean game as well. No turnovers, T.O.
It's amazing, really. But that's not where Florida State's bothered him. It's been at the rim.
Yeah.
And it's been in their shooting percentage up until this latest run. Everything around the rim against Florida State's difficult.
Here is Chandler Jackson with 4 to shoot, trying to find a path. And the long rebound for Sion James. Let's drive it all the way again and score. Look, I know he's 6'6" and 220, but when he takes it down the floor on a bounce, he looks like a box safety.
He sure does.
Trying to gun the run. A.J. Swinton, a leaner against Gillis. The rebound, and had it rejected by Malawach. Another look at Sion James on a runaway track.
Tough shot, leads to transition buckets, and Sion James directing traffic, sees an angle. That's a strong man. And if you're Taylor Bowen for Florida State, you need to get your hind parts back on defense. Why? Because it happens so quickly when you play against the Blue Devils.
Watkins against Knipple, who did a good. We got a scrum just below the foul line.
It has been physical.
Yep. And Chandler Jackson looks like he's taking one across the bridge of the nose here.
Leonard Hamilton getting after the officiating crew pretty much the whole first half. Hey, the fire's still there.
Oh, no question.
It hasn't gone anywhere.
Right.
Isaiah Evans trying to get downhill. Again, kind of the physicality portion for him. I think you're going to see a lot of improvement over his career. Just getting stronger, putting on a little bit of weight. And look, he's an oh man, right to the face. Chandler Jackson. That's just 2 teams playing hard in February or March. Excuse me.
Tapped away, Malawach, and a foul. So the foul will be on Bol Bowen. It's his first. That is 10 now on Florida State with 1:57 to go. So a couple of free throws here from Malawach. So you have Kaman Malawach, who is from Rumbek in the South Sudan. You have Taylor Bol Bowen, born in an Egyptian refugee camp, but parents were from the Sudan. Alir Malouk adds to the international flavor of this lineup tonight. He has not played because of some foul trouble early in the first half. But in particular, T.O., and you follow the game internationally as well, this part of the world is starting to produce lots of talented basketball players.
Well, and they also had Carlick Jones, former Louisville point guard, running the show for that team in the Olympics.
That's right, yeah.
So you look at, the impact, and keep in mind, too, not a player you just mentioned that has seen minutes in this game is below 6'10". So tall people in that part of the world, obviously, but that is a big-time developing area of the world in terms of hoop. And what a shot by Jerry Dang.
Who is also, his mom is from the
gosh.
South Sudan. And Jerry Dang's got 8. He's been as impressive as anybody wearing the garnet and gold in this opening frame.
He sure has.
James, another drive into traffic. Couldn't get the roll. Watkins the rebound with 75 seconds to go. Catch and shoot 3 from the perimeter is good for A.J. Swinton, the freshman from Cabin John, Maryland. Just his 8th 3 of the year.
Didn't look like that's going to be his 8th 3 of the year. Shoots a pretty ball. Consensus top 60 player. I think Leonard Hamilton got a good one in Swinton. Look at the defensive pressure.
Left side for Evans. Tees up a 3. Spins out on it. Isaiah Evans. Knipple saves it. Malawach fouled on the deck by Boston Holt. No continuation. 2 shots for Kaman Malawach on the second foul against Boston Holt, a senior transfer from Portland, Oregon.
John's not going to like it. I actually like the call on the floor. You're going to get 2 free throws anyway, but Kon Knipple, what he's done today has been, see, the foul's way before even the dribble, and Jon Scheyer doesn't love it. And as we both know, Wes, Duke never gets the foul call.
Oh, stop.
So I say that facetiously, but at the same time, Kon Knipple today, he's guarded really well on the defensive end of the floor.
Correct.
He stayed in front. He hasn't lost his discipline. He can test straight up. He comes off. He's having to play the point guard because Cooper flags out. Sion James gets 2 fouls quick.
Malawach the free throw. He's got 10 now. Knipple's got 9 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. To your point.
To my point. So he's come off ball screens. He's made the read on the most important guy, the MIG that's underneath the rim, and he's knocked down some shots. So I mean, you talk about a guy at 6'6", 6'7", strong build. He's not going to rise up and dunk on too many people, but skill right now, especially at the next level, preferred by everybody.
Yep, 19-point lead toward the final half minute to play.
Duke a little 2-3.
Yeah, how about that?
Actually thought they were defending pretty well. A little curveball before heading into the half.
Here is Holt. Watkins 12 to shoot. Baseline Swinton rolls it in. 5 for A.J. Swinton off Leonard Hamilton's bench. And the Blue Devils get the last shot of the half. Up 17. Knipple with 6 seconds against Holt. He'll take him on the drive, stop in the lane, push it up, it rolled off, and the horn sounds. Nonetheless, at one point, it was a 4-point game early in this half, and Duke went on the big run, and it's a 17-point lead at the break.
And when they went cold, it all went with effort. 12 offensive rebounds, and they continue moving the ball. This is a Duke team that even when it's not that pretty, they find out ways to win. Up 17 at this half. I guess we'll send it to break. Oh, no, we'll send it to half. Excuse me.
Here we go. Welcome back to Cameron Indoor Stadium. Cooper Flagg looking at Jon Scheyer and says, yep, I'm okay. Word from the Duke folks is he is available after suffering an injury around the eye early in the first half. Great to be with Terrence Oglesby. Wes Durham, welcome back. Blue Devils lead by 17 here at the break. And We're going to give some flowers out. Let's give him to Con Knueppel. He was terrific in the first 20 minutes.
Really, really good. And they needed him to be.
Yep.
And he was doing a little bit of everything. What was he doing? He was handling the ball. He was knocking down shots, attacking the rim, knocking down threes. What didn't he do, Wes? It's really amazing to watch. His versatility as a player. We all know he's a quality shooter and scorer, but it was his playmaking ability that really stood out. 4 assists on top of a couple of offensive rebounds. Really doing everything in the absence of Sion James, who got 2 fouls early in the game. In the absence of Cooper Flagg, Con Knueppel was the guy who took over this ball game. He's going to play for a long, long time. And guys that don't rely on their athleticism to score and make plays, they are coveted.
He's part of our star stories. They're players that are crushing it. Brought to you by Crush. Knueppel for the Blue Devils, and boy, Jerry Dang in his first ever trip into Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Impressive.
A solid first half for Leonard Hamilton's team, but they have got a steep hill to climb. Flagg starts the second half on the floor for the Blue Devils. And Jamir Watkins travels, but he might have been fouled? Question mark?
A little bit of both. But the foul is called. 0 turnovers for Duke is the thing that stands out for me, Wes. I mean, Sion James gets too early. Cooper Flagg, who does the bulk of the ball handling, typically in the first halves. And here's the thing, points in the paint against a Florida State team that is massive as well. 22-8.
Yep. Davis out front. Bol Bowen had just the 3 in the first half. Comes in averaging almost 9 against the league. 5 to shoot. Watkins in the corner. Davis off balance, threw it up, draws the foul, and that is on Knueppel. It'll be his first. Second on the Blue Devils here in the half. 6'7" freshman from Milwaukee got beat here on the bounce.
Should have played up, and he wouldn't have gotten the foul call, but that off arm there. Good job, Daquan Davis feeling the defense.
Yep.
He's able to get to the line.
Davis is an 83% free throw shooter. He is 10th best in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Florida State, who at one point was upper 70s as a team a couple of years ago, has kind of been fighting the free throw line. They are 73-4 in conference play. That is 13th. They are 71-5 regular season. That is 16th in the league.
Hard to win close games when you can't shoot free throws. They've been in their share of them this season.
Yep. Davis hits the first and the second. He's got 4 now, does the freshman from Baltimore.
You know, it's been kind of a strange game, Wes, in that it's lacked rhythm. And Duke has just found ways to score.
Offensive foul on James Ertio.
It is, and he ran the defender right into Kamon Malawach. That's just, I'm a little stronger than you. Pushes, and then Malawach has his feet spread out a little too far.
First turnover, by the way, on the Blue Devils in the ball game. Flagg defending Davis. Here's Chandler Jackson against James. Into traffic. Malawach shut it off. Kick out for Bol Bowen's 3. That's good.
Love that
6'10" sophomore can really stroke it.
He sure can. And even better play, Chandler Jackson getting into the lane. He's had a nice game so far. Stats aren't that loud, but he's been one of the few guys for the Seminoles that has been able to put pressure on the rim.
5 in a row for Florida State. There's Flagg skipping it for James. In traffic, put it up off the glass, got knocked around, kick out for Evans. Shot fake, and now the 3. Hello.
The lid is off for Isaiah Evans, and that's dangerous. You see your first one go down in the second half. Confidence builder.
3 threes for Evans. He's got a dozen, and a bump and a foul on Flagg will be his first. And the 4th against Duke very quickly here in about the first 95 seconds.
Nice job, Sion James, not forcing the issue. Jon Scheyer not pleased with the foul situation so far.
Yep.
But not forcing the issue and finding your shooters on the perimeter. And as a right-handed shooter, Wes, I was always really comfortable getting to my left hand for one dribble and then pulling. Perfect example right there.
Watkins and the follow. Maluk couldn't control it. Here is James. Evans, 3 away. Nope, too strong. And last touched by Jamir Watkins.
He didn't even look at the rim. And if he would have seen Malawach wide open.
Isaiah Evans is 3 for 11.
Don't
from
stop
behind
shooting.
the line, 4 for 14. Now here again, the shooter's creed: keep shooting, right?
That's it. And here's the thing, if nothing else,
Yeah.
Wes, like even if he's not hitting him, the threat of him hitting it is spacing the defense out. So he's not doing his job if he's not looking for those shots.
James to put it in play. And flag the catch against Jackson. Sion James into traffic against Bowen and one.
That is Sion James saying, I'm stronger than you.
Yep.
Simply put. No help because Cooper Flagg sets the screen. He's got the middle wide open. Put my shoulder in your chest. You can forget about it. 6'6". I think he's listed at 220. Try 250. That man's only muscle.
James got 6. Looking for his third double-figure effort in the last 7 games. He had 14.6 assists in the big win here against Stanford. He's got 7 tonight on his first free throw. Lead is quickly to 18 after it looked like a little run from Florida State to start the half. Watkins against Knipple. Skip for Chandler Jackson. Missed everything. Malowatch the rebound. Flagg has 2 field goals tonight, by the way. Of course, went to the bench after the injury. Now working into traffic. Takes the contact and a whistle and get a foul on Florida State.
It's about time Cooper got a call.
Chandler Jackson's first and the second on the Noles here in the half.
And I know a lot of people are going to roll their eyes when I say that. He has been attacking the lane and getting clubbed every time down, and they have their hands all over him.
Working against Maluk, and Flagg scores off the glass. The creativity and the understanding of where he is on the floor is just another dimension of his game. And that's going to be a foul, I believe, on Alir Maluk. That'll be his third, and the third on Florida State. And another look at the Flagg pivot.
Look at, I mean, he goes up, he gets smacked in the face again. But credit to Cooper Flagg, though. He gets back, he's complaining now, but he never does so in an overly demonstrative fashion. So, look, he is getting fouled.
So the lead is 20. 8-0 Duke run here, Terrence.
The man's bleeding.
Knipple along the baseline, and that's going to be on Bowen. That'll be his third, and that's 4 on Florida State.
I love the aggression by Knipple there. And what does he do? He takes away the defense's athleticism by attacking their chest on the ground.
So here is Knipple at the line, looking for his 10th point. And the first one is good. Don't forget our coverage of the 72nd T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament starts a week from Tuesday. We'll be at Spectrum Center in Uptown Charlotte. All 3 first-round games for you on ACC Network. Our coverage starts with Taylor Tannenbaum at Nothing But Net at 1:30 Eastern Time on Tuesday, March 11th from Charlotte. Knipple with 10. He's 3 for 3 at the line and making 4 for 4. 11 points for Con Knipple. The lead 22. It's largest of the night now for the Blue Devils. Second time it's been to this margin. Nitu has come in the lineup. Long 3 bounds away off the hand of Watkins. Flag for Knipple against Davis. That's a mismatch. Skip out for Evans. 3 from the left. And the rebound pulled out of there by Daquan Davis.
Not a thought of passing.
Nope. Jackson into traffic over Malowatch. Flagg gathers. Down the floor goes Flagg. Lob. Common the hammer.
Handling it against pressure. Seeing the help come over.
And Nitu just had it rejected by Flagg. Here's Knipple weaving around Jerry Dang. Shot fake and one.
Malawach, you get out in transition. Throw it up. Malawach knows how to put some rim pressure on, and then Mr. Patient, Con Knueppel, able to get the and one, and Duke off and running. Cooper loves it. I do too.
For tonight's Experts at Work, brought to you by Principal. Cooper Flag, the lob to Common Malawach. And at the other end, Flag connecting with Malawach again. Not to mention the block that then started the transition chance by the freshman from Newport, Maine.
It's been a game of runs.
Yep. And Knueppel will be at the line to try and make it a 15-0 burst for the Blue Devils. Duke looking for what would be their 6th straight win tonight, Terrence.
Yep.
Be 22 of the last 23. The loss at Clemson, the only marker in the right column for Jon Scheyer's 3rd team here in his alma mater. And a win tonight based on some of the other elements. Duke, Clemson, and Louisville would all lock up first-round byes. By the way, Duke had it the other night after the win in Miami. Clemson and Louisville basically put it on ice today. Louisville, by the way, beat Pitt. Clemson a win at Virginia. Ian Shefflin on his birthday, 21 points and 13 rebounds. Hope the cake's good.
Man, he's been really good all season.
Yep.
The top 3 in the ACC can do some real damage in the NCAA tournament.
Watkins, the spinning jumper. He's got 8 in the ball game. 62-37. That stops the run by the Blue Devils at 15 in a row. Yeah, it feels like that's the way we're going to go to Charlotte, doesn't it, with those 3? And an offensive foul on Sion James as he tried to drive to the basket. That's 4 now on James. So now Jon Scheyer without Tyrese Proctor in the lineup tonight. James handling the ball anyway. And immediately Darren Harris, the freshman from Herndon, Virginia, is back into the lineup for the Blue Devils on the Blue Devils' 2nd turnover. Harris, by the way, played 5 minutes and had a couple of points in the first half. The clarity of Duke is easy to see, by the way, in relationship to that discussion about the NCAA tournament. Blue Devils arguably going to be one of the 4 top seeds. That could change, of course, somewhere along the way in the rhetoric, but
I don't see how it does.
I don't either, but you never know. Out of the corner, the Nitu triple bounds into Harris's hands. Feels like Duke is definitely a #1 seed, though, in my opinion, just with their body of work and the wins they've posted.
Especially the run they've been on as of late. I mean, what they did to Illinois and New York City.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
well, and they're staring at a first-round opportunity right down the road here in Raleigh.
Sure.
Potentially 2 TO. Here goes Flag into traffic. That'll draw a whistle and a foul. Cooper will go to the line.
you know, it's funny, Wes, like you watch Cooper Flag, and obviously he does so many things that intrigue you as a player, but you watch how he gets by defenders. And I was trying to figure out why it is, because it looks so easy. He never really looks like he hits the turbo button, but he changes levels as well as anybody I've seen in the last 10 years. And what I mean by that is he can go from standing straight up to attacking to penetrate and have his shoulders in the opponent's midsection so fast, and his legs are so flexible and his steps are big, that by the time the defense realizes what happened, he's completely controlling everything the defender's doing. So on that last possession, he gets to the cup from the left 45, and he's able to do so because he just understands leverage so well.
Well, and he is the focal point of an offensive explosion that has happened here for the Blue Devils. Knocks the second free throw out. Look at the last 4 games here. And again, Jon Scheyer said in January and later in the month, hey, look, we're pretty steady defensively. We got to continue to evolve and get better on offense. And how about Watkins' lob just kind of rolled in for him. And there's a foul on Boston Holt for a hold. Mark Schnurr called that from across the far sideline. That'll be the 3rd on Holt and the 7th on Florida State. So
game was incredibly physical in the first half, and it was a hold. Caleb Foster trying to get open. You get a handful of jersey. I mean, that's about as obvious a call as you can make.
Yep. So Caleb Foster will get 1 and 1.
But Wes, we saw in the first half how physical this game was. Referees obviously go to the locker room and say, hey, we need to tighten up just a little bit.
First point of the night for Foster. Caleb, the sophomore from Harrisburg, playing about 12 minutes a game tonight in the first half. Came off the bench, played just better than 4. And he's got a couple of free throws here in his sequence in the second half. 66-39. Here's Holt against Gungba, and a foul on Patrick Gungba. His second. That's 6 now on Duke. And so Boston Holt draws the foul of the big freshman from that very talented Paul VI program.
Man, that's been a feeder program for Duke over the past few years, right?
Darren Harris, Patrick Gungba from there.
Trevor Keels.
Yep. Here is Holt into traffic for Jerry Dang. He lost it on the dribble, and they're going to go to the deck and look at Gillis, and Dang get wrapped up. And alternating possession going to belong. They're going to call a foul.
That's a good call.
Gillis.
That's a good call. We're going to be able to take another look at it. Gillis comes over the top. You're going to see the ball gets loose. And I'm not saying that Gillis has him in a headlock, but take a look here. Good effort to get there. Look at this. That's Greco-Roman right there. And then John obviously a little frustrated here, but
yeah, leans back on the table, and
they have called it tighter. And to be honest,
yes.
And they've needed to. I thought the first half, as fun as it was, lacked a little bit of flow because it was overly physical. Heck of an officiating crew here today, too.
Jerry Dang trying to reach double figures for the 3rd time, and it spins out in the last 8 games. 6 minutes into the second half, both teams are in the 1-1, and Duke by 26. And here goes Flagg.
Come
yes,
on.
sir. Yes, sir.
Just silly.
68-40.
What kind of blessing is it for Jon Scheyer to just call up a wrong way screen and just let Cooper go to work?
Watkins had it punched away, and that'll be a foul on Flagg, his second. It's the 8th on Duke. Here's another look at the whirling dervish of Cooper Flagg.
Quick step up screen, up, under. Not a traditional up and under. I know Jay Billis would not be happy with me saying that, but nonetheless, big time finish. You see the spin. That's close, Wes.
Watkins at the line. He's got 10, 4 here in the second half for the senior from Trenton, New Jersey. Transferred into the program from VCU, and last year averaged 16 points, 6 rebounds, and shot 47% from the floor for Florida State. But again, this goes back to something you mentioned in the first half. By any definition of Leonard Hamilton's tenure at Tallahassee, this is a young basketball team.
Absolutely is. And you look at Watkins, who's one of the older players in the program. It's only his 2nd year in the program.
That's it.
So their way of doing things takes a little bit of time. Leonard was still redshirting guys as of 5-6 years ago.
Devin Vassell.
Exactly. So he had his chance to put his hands on guys and really teach them.
Here's Gillis a 3, and it'll hit the top of the glass and bounce back into play. Watkins took an unbelievable, ran into a screen in the backcourt from Gungba. And here's Jerry Dang from deep on the right and score.
Man, he can shoot the basketball.
3rd 3 of the night for Dang. 12 in the ball game for the young man from Norcross, Georgia, who played at Hampton a year ago and spent some time as a prep player in South Dakota. Flagg fouled on the drive. I believe that's Watkins. And Jameer Watkins' first foul of the night. And a little look at Jerry Dang.
On the other side, Watkins shaking and baking a little bit. Dang doesn't need much room. And you see the rotation on that basketball. 6'9", can really shoot it, athletic enough. Talked to a couple of the assistants for Florida State. He's finally getting in better shape. And you can see it in his production. transferred from Hampton. Hampton didn't use him as much as what he probably could have at his size and skill level, but it's certainly there.
Gillis out, Knipple returns. Well, in this, look, the storyline with Florida State's been realized. Leonard Hamilton's retiring at the end of the year, and we know what the transactional nature of college basketball is, Terrence.
Sure.
And Michael Alford is going to hire a new head men's basketball coach in Tallahassee, but the timing on that is going to be fascinating because, as you know, portal comes open and guys are going to get in. Here's Holt. Back runner with a right hand off the window and in. First points of the night for Portland, Oregon native Boston Holt.
I will say this, though. The portal opens after the second weekend of the NCAA tournament.
Correct.
And Florida State, for all intents and purposes, not going to the tournament. The AD is going to have plenty of time to hire somebody before these guys can enter. So, you know, do you keep some of these guys? Sure. You probably add one more piece, probably a pure point that can make something happen. But there's a lot of natural talent on this team. And another guy who's naturally talented, Darren Harris, who hasn't gotten a whole lot of love this season. He can score it.
Back to 25 again, 72-47.
Oh, my gosh.
And that ball got thrown away into the end zone. Seats. Almost a heck of a player made in the second row. Back to Durham in a moment. We're number one. The story of Mike Krzyzewski's first two national championship teams debuts right here on ACC Network. It is a terrific piece of work, and you'll enjoy the insight on that story and much, much more. And of course, it goes back to document not only the national championship game against Vegas in '91, but the one the next year in 1992 against Michigan and the Fab Five. Terrence.
Sounds like must-watch TV to me, Wes.
My goodness, it is terrific. Here is Gungba working against Maluk, and a foul is drawn. That'll be the fourth. It's been a tough night for Alir Maluk, who is still 18 years old, reclassified to come to Florida State, and he'll come out of the ball game on his fourth foul with 11:31 to go, or 34 to go rather. He had a season high in minutes the other night against Carolina, and had he not gotten into foul trouble, he was going to play another season high here tonight. Gungba missed the front end of the 1-and-1. The rebound inside. Flag will draw the foul.
I feel bad for Alir Maluk because this is probably the only floor he's ever been on in his life where he's not the biggest player on the floor. The crazy part is you look out there and Gungba is 6'11", much wider, and then you look at Kaman Malawat, who's basically half a head taller than him. Yeah. So it's the collective size of this Duke team. I mean, you see the effects of it happen throughout the course of the game. There's a wear down effect of playing against bodies the size of this Blue Devils team. And the fact that they're so unselfish, too. We've got 4 guys in double figures. And Mason Gillis has 9.
Cooper Flag got 14, 10 here in the second half after he knocked down both free throws. Duke, by the way, shoots 2 free throws on every common foul the rest of the way. Bo Bowen caught it, almost traveled. Gungba knocked it away. Foster saved it. Boy, fell into the bench area. And then Gungba was over there in front of the Florida State bench. And I believe Mark Schnurr is going to award this to the Noles. But we got to clean the deck first. Foster, oh, he hit it off.
It was off Gungba.
Gungba, yeah.
Barely touched him, but it did nonetheless. See right toward, well, from that angle, it's deceiving. But.
And does Bill Covington want to have a look here? Oh, they're shot clock.
Sure.
That's what it was. That was the look, the reason they went to the monitor. So here is Swinton to put it in play, and the cozy confines here at the Venerable Building on the West Campus. You got to give them a little distance on the inbounds. Thomas working against Harris. Dang. Here is Holt trying to beat Knipple, and a hand check foul on Con Knipple will be his second. And that is 9 on the Blue Devils. Don't forget Wednesday afternoon, First Horizon Coliseum in Greensboro, the Ally ACC Women's Tournament starts. Our coverage will begin at 12:30 with Nothing But Net. And then all the first and second round games and 2 of the quarterfinals are right here exclusively on ACC Network. It's going to be a big Sunday. The final day of play in the Atlantic Coast Conference and the women's card is tomorrow. And you see, Terrence, you have 4 teams that get buys. But there's a mess from Carolina, Florida State, Duke, and Louisville. And Carol Lawson's team, who got a win here the other night against Carolina, is in Tallahassee to see Brooke Wyckoff's Seminoles, who won at Notre Dame the other night. Just a terrific win.
Not an easy place to play.
Nope. And they had Tania Latson and all that in the victory at South Bend. So sets up for a great final day of the regular season tomorrow on ACC Network, and certainly Wednesday from Greensboro. Harris on the recovery, and out of bounds. It will go to Florida State.
That's a young man in Darren Harris who's realizing his opportunity, trying to make something happen. But where it'll be easier for him, he gets into the lane off a nice move, kick out. You had guys open. Make the easier play.
Bo Bowen working against Foster. Tried to wrap it through traffic. Here is flag. Thomas in front of him. Cooper on the layup, and the tap follow got knocked out. Gungba. Harris a 3. Missed badly, and flag recovers. Winds through a double team. Got it back. Stayed with it, and a held ball will go to the Blue Devils.
That's a
the effort.
Yeah.
The effort of Cooper Flagg is phenomenal.
It's been phenomenal for both teams, but this is kind of a microcosm of this game, right? Like we've lacked some flow. Guys are trying to get out and run, but it's been offensive rebounds, hustle points, and that's how they found their threes.
Yep.
And they have been unselfish. Don't get me wrong, and they've made nice individual plays. But as far as flow is concerned, this game doesn't have a ton of it.
Yeah. And each coach has had to dive into depth, get the bench involved.
Absolutely.
A lot of combinations. And here in this second half.
I mean, we've had 20 free throws in the second half.
Yeah.
So
and
a lot
almost
of
20 fouls. Almost 20 fouls.
Sure.
Halfway home here in the second. Knipple. Hanging jumper. And finally controlled by Jamir Watkins.
I'll say this about Jamir Watkins. The dude can guard. I mean, his on-the-ball defense is going to get him a shot at the next level.
Yep. Here is Foster. Caleb trying to beat Swinton to the basket. Skip for Evans. Isaiah fights through traffic and lays it up.
Parted the Red Sea, Isaiah Evans. Attacking the cup as well, not something he's done with all that much.
14 for Evans tonight. He's got his 4th straight double-figure game.
And this is where Duke can get you. This is where these runs happen. They get a couple of baskets, you get frustrated, you take a quick shot. You can't do that.
They're going to call Boston Hole for the grab on Mal.
Right through the middle. You have to close that gap if you're Florida State. That can't happen.
So just ahead of 9 minutes to go. Duke's going to shoot free throws 27 and 28 with Common Malawach, who is 4 for 4 tonight and has 10 points. And the free throw good.
He's got good hands. I mean, for 7'2", the ball comes off his hands nicely when he shoots a free throw.
He's got a 9-foot 8-inch reach.
Could dang near fly. I mean, that's crazy. But look at the ball, how it comes off his hands. Good hand placement on the ball.
Yep.
Comes off his index finger and his middle finger. I think he's going to be able to develop into a guy that can pull his game out and shoot the ball from beyond the arc a little bit.
Davis the floater. He's got 6, 4 here in the second half. 27-point Duke lead inside 9 to go. Florida State's lost 2 straight, 3 of 4, and 7 of their last 10, with a trip to Virginia on Tuesday and then SMU next Saturday to close the regular season. Flag for Evans, 3 ball.
The easiest shot Isaiah Evans has had all day.
Yep. Isaiah Evans has got 17 now. And Cooper Flagg with the steal. And here he goes. Lay it up.
My gosh. The ground covered off 2 dribbles is absurd. After making a terrific pass, he's rewarded with some good defense as well.
And Davis fouled on the drive by Foster. Second on Caleb Foster.
Hey, this is something where a lot of guys will put one dribble on the deck and fire away. Nope, not Cooper Flagg. Hits Isaiah Evans, and then coast to coast, 2 dribbles. My gosh. I mean, the athleticism and the flexibility in the legs. I mean, so good. Plays with such good pace and lower body strength. I think that's the underrated portion of this.
Yeah, 16 now for Flagg. He's one of 4 Blue Devils in double figures tonight. 17 for Evans, 14 for Knipple, a dozen for Malawach with 8 rebounds. And here is Davis at the line. And he's 3 for 3. You know, we're going to get around to a week from tomorrow with the All-ACC ballots that'll be cast.
Sure.
And Cooper Flagg is easily first team, easily the Rookie of the Year by historic portions.
He's easily the player of the year.
And easily the player of the year.
Yeah, let's go ahead and
ACC.
cut the nonsense.
But
I think
the national discussion.
I think he's right there.
With he and Janai Broome is fascinating too. Foster, Malawach.
Just throw it up there in the vicinity.
14 for Common, 6 in the second half. Davis wrap around for Swinton, and a foul will be ticketed here. And that'll get us to the under 8. And when we come back, how about a little historical comparative with Cooper Flagg and the best freshman seasons of all time. 85-53. Ken Jong's got this one in hand, I think, with 7:40 to play.
That's energy is what that is.
How about the Cooper Flagg, by the way? Okay, T.O. Mike Waters, who covers college basketball in Syracuse, New York for Syracuse.com,
sure,
was on with Roddy Jones and I on our SiriusXM show earlier this week. He mentioned Carmelo Anthony as the comp for Cooper Flagg. Now, Carmelo was the Final Four MVP, and those are his numbers.
Sure.
Points, rebounds, and assists don't tell the whole story of Flagg's impact. But we chose 4 guys or 3 other guys to compare with Cooper Flagg here.
Yeah, the biggest surprise of this whole graphic is the fact that Ben Simmons was averaging 19 points a game. I'm going to throw that out there.
Okay.
Outside of that, to me, Carmelo is as far as impact is concerned. I would do that. Zion right there as well. I think, you know, Zion, even to this day, and he is a one-trick pony, but that one trick is unbelievable.
Sure.
He's just stronger than everybody else on this planet, and he gets to the cup. I think, you know, Carmelo was great at a point where guys were in the mid-post creating isolation. The game has changed, obviously, since Carmelo, but I think the impact of Cooper, just because of how he affects the game in so many ways, he's got my vote as far as if it were down to those 4, it's between him and Carmelo for sure.
Malawach lowered the shoulder, pushed it up, and scored. Offensive foul on Common Malawach. Before the basket against Bo Bowen, second on the freshman from the South Sudan.
I get the call. She had the angle. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
Third turnover on the Blue Devils. 30-point lead for Duke. T.O., you see this game as much from a national perspective as anybody I know or work with. Does he have to win a national championship to cement his legacy as the best freshman season potentially in college basketball, or at least be in the Carmelo discussion?
I think, you know, Carmelo did win a national championship.
Right.
At the same time, Carmelo didn't have near the defensive impact as Cooper because he sat in the back of the 2-3 zone. So to me, I would like to see him deep into the second weekend or the Final Four, which is very much in the realm of possibility and even likely. But at the same time, you know, I feel like just his overall impact is just can't be overstated.
Yep.
A little 1-3-1 by Duke.
Yeah, and a kick out 3 for Davis. Malowatch the rebound.
You know what I
Remember
really
John
like?
Shire would have set a 2-3 and late in the first half, right?
Well, that's what I was going to get to. Like, that's one thing about John Shire I've really come to appreciate about his coaching style. Like earlier in the conference season, he needed a curveball. He goes 2-3. So we're heading into postseason play. Now they're tinkering with something else just to give him some variability. So a quick 1-3-1 to give an opposing team a new look.
We're going to get a timeout here. I agree with you on all fronts about that. Step aside, Duke by 32 when we continue from Cameron.
Hey.
Isaiah Evans will be at the free throw line. The foul was on A.J. Swinton as we went to the break. 2 shots coming for Evans, the freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina, who, by the way, last year at North Mecklenburg High School averaged 28 points and had a very Terrence Oglesby-like 62 in a playoff game.
I went for 57 in high school one time.
Was it a playoff game?
No, it was not.
Evans has got a season high.
Good for him. Started off a little rough, just kept at it.
Yep.
I thought he let the game come to him a little bit better in the second.
And he's got 19 tonight.
Nice performance. Tyrese Proctor goes down. You need somebody to step up. Enter Isaiah Evans, who's been playing really well.
Yep. Here's Watkins ahead of 6 minutes to go. Kicks it for Davis. Watkins over Gungba off the window and in. 8.5 for Watkins, 14 in the ball game. Still a 32-point Duke lead as we go inside of 6 minutes to go. Blue Devils, who have been on a tear, scoring 98.3 in their last 4, are in that range again tonight. Baseline Sheffield, he'll draw the foul from Davis.
You know, there was a period in the first half where offensively Duke kind of hit a lull. Outside of that, Wes, it's been death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
Because it's just the consistency, the ball movement, the open shots, the transition. Like the consistency in their play.
Yeah, Cam Sheffield to the line. Grad transfer from Alpharetta, Georgia, came to this program from Rice. And the free throw is good. That's his first free throw attempt of the year in his 10th game. Alir Malouk checks back in, playing with 4 fouls. He's been riddled with foul trouble all night as the big 7-foot freshman. And Sheffield missed the second. So 90-57. Watkins open 3 good.
There hasn't been a whole lot to pick at for John Shire and his staff. That one right there is going to get picked at, I promise.
Too open?
Well, way too open, and Gungba, it takes too long to get up on a ball screen. And you have a guy like Jameer Watkins, who hasn't had the best night offensively. You have to get up and show, knowing that he's averaging 18 points a game.
Here's Foster. Thought about pulling the trigger on Malouk. And across the baseline, knocked out of bounds. I think Swinton touched it last for the Noles. 5 to shoot for Duke on a spot throw in. Foster to put it in play.
This baseline out of bounds for Florida State's a bit confusing because it looks a little bit like a guy on the ball 1-3-1 behind. But at the same time, just like the corners are open. Right. They're going to send a second guy to you, so you have to get the ball in and get it out quick.
We've got to get Jerry Dang back down the floor to put it in play here. Swinton in trouble against Sheffield. 15 to shoot. And here's Watkins on the attack again and off the glass. So Watkins is providing the scoring punch here for Florida State in the second half.
Him and Daquan Davis have really been the only players that have been able to create anything off the bounce.
19. Foster took some contact. First shot, second tap. Nope. Jackson one dribble and feeds Dang. Spot up three, short. And there's the scramble for the ball in the paint. And a held ball will belong to Florida State.
That did not look comfortable.
Nope. And A.J. Swinton helped to his feet. And here comes Anastasis Rokeas into the ball game from Greece.
Well done, Wes.
13th appearance of the year. Has not played in the last three. Played a minute in the home loss to Clemson. And the chance of we want Spencer. Yep.
The man who can tear the roof off Cameron Indoor. He tore the roof off of Madison Square Garden.
A 5'8" grad student, Spencer Hubbard, as Watkins gets fouled and scores the bucket. And when we come back, free throws for the Noles on the basket by Watkins, and T.O.'s got a story on Leonard Hamilton. Roll 90-64 as we rejoin you from the Crow's Nest here in Cameron, and Terrence Oglesby's first trip up here to do a game after playing here. Coming upstairs, a little different world for you.
Yeah, different view entirely. Yeah. It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, we get to say a bit of a farewell here tonight to Leonard Hamilton. He'll coach the ACC tournament in Charlotte. Just unbelievable stories in his career, aren't there?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I talked to him at ACC tip-off and interviewed him, and we talked about, what's your craziest recruiting story? And whenever he started his coaching career, he was at Austin Peay.
Yeah, for Lake Kelly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was a graduate assistant. Well, the assistant coach that was on staff at the time got sick, so he was immediately elevated. The head coach sent him off to New York City. Leonard had never been to New York. And as he explains it, he goes to a couple of tournaments, and he sees a young man named Fly Williams. Well, Fly agrees to meet with Leonard to talk about coming down to Austin Peay. So Leonard goes to his house in the middle of New York, meets with his mother, who sits and talks with him for the better part of 2 hours. Fly doesn't come home, and it's about 10, 11 o'clock. So Fly's mother goes to use the restroom. He goes, picks up, and he turns the clock back 2 hours. Because keep in mind, this is before cell phones.
Right.
So he comes up, he turns the clock back 2 hours. He had to do it 3 more times. The sun was coming up. When Fly comes back home, he ends up recruiting Fly Williams, signs him at Austin Peay. And if it's not for Leonard Hamilton, the chant, "The Fly is open, let's go Peay," never becomes a thing.
There you go.
So thank you for that. But a relentless recruiter his entire career. He has never taken a vacation, as he alluded to us, we talked about earlier, and has done, I mean, that's a funny story, but you look back at what he's done for the game of basketball throughout his career.
Yep.
And I have the utmost respect for Leonard Hamilton, who has coached for the better part of his life with that exact scowl on his face.
Yep.
And I always thought it was funny. How can you get ahead? And that way to get ahead for him was turning Fly Williams' mama's clock back.
There you go. It's a terrific story. And that was the start of his career. Of course, played at Gaston College, finished at UT Martin, then got a coaching opportunity at Austin Peay, and then it was on to Kentucky, and then, of course, ran his own programs in Stillwater, Miami, the Wizards for a year, and then the last 23 have been in Tallahassee. And you see Mike Krzyzewski looking on tonight, and the respect between Coach K and Leonard Hamilton is immense. Duke in control. More action when we come back to Cameron.
Rather than covering up BO with heavy fragrance, Mando's unique formula stops odor before it starts. That's my secret to better odor control everywhere. Mando's unlike anything you've ever tried before. Get over 30% off at shopmando.com.
So we come back to Durham, and Leonard Hamilton, of course. Kevin Nickelberry to his right, your left on the screen there, part of a staff with Stan Jones and Jake Morton. And here is Spencer Hubbard bringing it front court, the 5'8" grad student from Los Angeles, California, who is playing tonight in his 24th career game. Kick out, and Hubbard.
Don't let him score, because this place will explode.
Well, it exploded when he came in. There's Sheffield on the drive. He'll draw the foul with 3:03 to play. So very quickly, Duke's lineup has Darren Harris on the floor, and there is Spencer. And you see 7-foot Stanley Borden. Neil Begovic is also on the floor, and Cameron Sheffield, who will shoot the free throws. That's the 5th foul on Boston Holt. And he will come out of the ball game with 4 points. And into the lineup comes Jason Simpson, senior transfer from West Palm Beach for the Seminoles. So Roqueus and Nitu on the floor, along with Jesse Jones, a senior transfer from Clearmont, Florida, and also Alir Malouk. And Sheffield gets his second free throw of the night. His only points have come from the line. Anastasis. And the rebound for Harris. Now, to your point, Spencer Hubbard scored a week ago at the Garden, and the place went crazy.
He's just dribbling, and the place is going crazy.
Yep. He got off the bench, and they erupted. Here's Harris. And the 3 for Borden. Or Begovic, rather. And there's Hubbard. Missing the follow.
It makes me happy when these guys get in the game. They work so hard on the scout team. And I can assure you, as a guy who is the GA at Clemson for Brad Brownell, scout team is no joke.
No joke. Not at this level. At this level, it is labor.
It is not easy, because you're going against the first team, the second team, and then usually a third team, and you're having to defend all the actions. And me just attempting defense, Wes, is a burden.
That's it, yes. And labor, for that matter.
That's right.
Here's Harris coming up on 2 to go. Duke's got 93 points tonight and shooting 48% in the half. Sheffield a deep 3. And last touched by the Blue Devils, says Bill Covington. Jesse Jones battling for it with Florida State, but Duke touched it last.
Take away from this game, for me, and just seeing Duke in person.
Okay.
The size, the switchability. And you notice in the first half, you know, Kaman Malawach, his switchability and the ability to guard perimeter players on the perimeter is something that I certainly didn't see coming.
Harris all the way to the basket. Darren Harris's 3rd field goal.
And while I say I didn't see it coming, his lateral quickness at that size.
Hubbard the steal.
Get it
down the basket.
It gets the people going. Spencer Hubbard. Electric.
Duke's got 97. And finally, Florida State controls. Here's Jones with 10 to shoot. Roachaeus, Simpson tried to lob it inside. Borden knocked it away. They'll go to the deck. And the shot clock, was it recovered before the shot clock expired?
Spencer Hubbard in transition. Defense,
look at this,
leading to offense. A little toughness, a little lefty. Come on, man. Gets the people going, the finesse. The senior from Mater Dei in California, a powerhouse in its own right.
Look at Shire.
And John's okay with it.
Yeah. My favorite part, Spencer's laying on the floor after he scored the basket, mean mugging to the bench.
Forgot to get back on defense.
Yeah. So 19 seconds on the shot clock is where we landed here. And a foul called on Sheffield. And all that will buy is free throws here for Simpson. Jason Simpson is a transfer from St. John's. He is the younger brother of the former Seminole Scotty Barnes, who was a first-round pick by Toronto, lottery pick, by the way. Simpson
rookie of the year.
Yeah, terrific player. Don't forget, we're #1, celebrating Duke's first 2 national championships. Follows us here from Cameron. First free throw of the year for Simpson, playing in his 8th game tonight. And here is Hubbard front court. Shot clock is still in play.
Set that man a ball screen and let him cook, Durham.
Duke bench is standing. Hubbard for 3.
Come on! Let my man cook! Spencer Hubbard!
4th 100-point game of the year for the Blue Devils. Last time they did it, they won a national championship.
Dribble it out.
That'll do it.
I can't take it anymore.
17-1, the Blue Devils are in the ACC. 26-3 overall. And tonight, the margin is 35 for the nation's #2 team.
Go
And
ahead,
their
slide
9th
it.
win by 25 or more.
Hey, slide them up a spot. This is the best team in college basketball. What a performance in a first half by Conca-Nipple. That was as impressive an all-around performance as we'll see. Fun game to be with you, Wes.
Thanks, T.O. Great as well. Really enjoyed it. 20th game with 15-5 for Cooper Flagg. Dukes won 6 straight with Wake Forest visiting on Monday night, and then the regular season finale in Chapel Hill next Saturday. Florida State draws Virginia on the road Tuesday, and then Saturday closes the regular season with SMU. Thanks to our producer, Will Black, our director, Chad Lampman, our terrific ACC Network crew. For Terrence Oglesby, Wes Durham, #2.